Okay, guys, here we go. This is Q2W1A skill practice. Some newer concepts on here, but all just extensions of what we've been working on. So 0.000001, it's not going to be negative. Wait a minute, scratch that. Still waking up here. It's going to be a small number because the decimal's over here on the left. So I'm going to get rid of any positive choices. This is not a negative number though, so I'm going to scratch out any negative answers. So this is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros with the 1 in front. So it's going to be 10 to the negative 7, or it's going to be 1 over 1 with 7 zeros. So it's going to be those two. Okay, here we go. Scientific notation. We're going to look at our front number. That's going to be not 749, not 74.9, but 7.49. Because the first number always has to be between 1 and 10. And then I have 5 zeros, but it's going to move 2 more place values, so it's 10 to the 7. Over here, we've got 582. It's going to be 5.82. The decimal would have to travel this far, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be negative 7 since it's a small number. The decimal slides to the left. Okay, we're going to go ahead and least to greatest. We're looking at the fractions. I see this as positive. All these others are negative. That's definitely going to be the largest. So from here, I'm going to be looking at some other things. We're going to have negative 0.35. 3 goes into 5 once. That's negative 1 2/3. And then 2/3 as a decimal is negative 1.6 repeating. This would be negative 0.035. So that's about 3 cents, negative 3 cents, negative $1.66, negative 35 cents. So since they're all negative, the one that's furthest to the left is going to be this, the negative 5/3. And then we're going to have, let's see, that's 3 cents. That's real close to 0. That's going to be negative 35%. I've got some videos on this. Notice how we're doing the skill numbers now, so you can always find videos corresponding to those skill numbers. All right, true statements. Square root of 20 is not 10. Half of 20 is 10. Let's see, this one, 289. Let's see, 7 times 7 is 49, and it ends in a 9. Odds are it's going to be that, and it is. This works out to 15. This works out to 5. This works out to 20. Is 15 plus 5 equal to 20? It sure is. If the radical sign was around the 81, then it would be true, but we don't want that. Same thing here. If the radical sign was over here, it would work, and the 19 was by itself. So this, okay, you can still see that, right? Even though the lights went out, you can still see that. Okay. Square root of 361 is 19. That's 12. That's 7. Is 19 minus 12 equal to 7? It sure is. Okay, so now we're doing differences. Okay, so I'm going to draw a number line up here. Do you understand? 8.3 is going to be to the right of 0. Negative 9.12 is going to be to the left. If you're looking for the difference, that means the distance between two numbers. So we're going from here to here. Do you understand? We'd take the absolute value of this number and the absolute value of this number and just add them together. So we're going to have the absolute value of 8.3. We're going to have the absolute value of negative 9.12. And we're going to add them together. So we're going to have 2, we're going to have 1 and 3 is 4, we're going to have 8 and 9 is 17. 17.42. All right, here the two numbers are both on the negative side. So here's a number line. Here's 0, here's negative 4, here's negative 12. How far apart are they? You're going to take their absolute values and you're going to subtract them. Basically, you're just going to go 12.82 minus 4.8. And you could type this into a calculator. I'm going to go ahead and just work it out. That's going to be 0, and then you're going to have 12 minus 4 is going to be 8. Okay, if you think I made a mistake, let me know. Didn't have any coffee this morning. All right. So 9 is over to the right, negative 15 is to the left. You're going to take their absolute values and you're going to add them. So their distance is 24. Their difference is 24. When we get into some problems involving temperature, you'll see this a lot where they're asking about difference between two numbers. All right, so we're over here. This works out to negative 3. This works out to negative 3, but it's got absolute value bars, so it would come out positive. They're not equal. This is negative 0.5, and it comes out positive, so that is true. This is 0.4, so it comes out positive. That comes out positive, so this one's true. This is negative 5. This works out to 5, but since they both have the absolute value bars, they're going to be equal. This comes out positive, it's not equal to the negative. This comes out positive, it's not equal to a negative. All right, moving on. We've got 50 people, 40% are boys. Of those boys, 1/4 of them have blonde hair. How many have blonde hair? So first of all, you're going to do 40% of 50. 40% of 50. That means multiply. The word of always means multiply. 40% of the boys. So we're going to go, that's going to end up being, oh my goodness, I am very tired and I need a calculator because I am slow today. 0.4 times 50. It's 20. I can't believe I couldn't do that in my head. I'm losing my game. All right. So then we have 1/4 of 20. So here's 20 that are boys. 1/4 of 20. You could make that into a decimal. And you're going to get, let's type it in, just because I was watching baseball last night, and I don't want to mess up. It's going to be 5. So 5 kids are boys and blonde. You could have also gone 1/4 of anything means you're dividing by 4, but don't divide 20 by 0.25. It's a whole different result. You'll get like 80 or something. Okay, so bicycle, kilometer, miles. Hopefully you're seeing that kilometer to miles is going to be a proportion. So kilometer to miles, 1 kilometer, 0.62 miles. He traveled 48 miles. That's going to go down here. So we're going to do some cross products. We're going to go 48 times 1 divided by 0.62. So we get a really long number here, 77.41, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go ahead and just round to the 10th. The problem didn't tell you to round to a certain number, but I'm going to just round to the 10th. So it's going to be 77.4 kilometers. All right. So here's an expression. I've already set up the parentheses. Eventually, you're going to have to do that on your own to do these kinds of problems. I'm going to plug in A for 5, and here's another A. B is 3. I'm going to put a B here and a B here, so that's a 3. C is 8, so I'm putting 8 on those final ones. Now, if you're following, you could plug this into the Desmos calculator, and it'll give you the answer. I want to make sure you understand the process. We're going to multiply these out, so I'm dropping my plus signs. That's going to be 30. That's going to be 80. That's going to be 48. And then 30 and 80 is 110, and then 48, that's going to be 158. So it adds up to 158. All right. Quadrilateral similar. Okay. Quadrilateral ABCD is similar to EFGH. What is the measurement of angle H? We want to know what the measurement of this angle is. Now, some kids might do this visually and just go, oh, you know, this lines up with this. I would highly recommend you look at the original description because it tells you, let me get this in focus. Focusing, okay. Do you see how D is, I'm sorry, we're looking for H. H is the last letter listed. This is the vertex H. It's going to correspond with the last vertex here, and that's D. D is 62. H is going to be 62. So the measurement of angle H is going to be 62 degrees. We'll talk more about those. I do have some videos on this. 7.6b, fill in the missing measurement. Okay, so we've talked about what this means. This angle is the same as this. This angle is the same as this. This is a trapezoid, and one characteristic, an isosceles trapezoid, which means this side's the same as this, so this side is 6. Now it says circle any name it can be called. Well, it's a trapezoid. That's the most accurate name. You could even say it's an isosceles trapezoid, since it has two sides that are the same. You could also say this is a quadrilateral. I've got a video on classifications, but this is just a little, we're just starting to explore this concept. It has 4 sides. Quadrilateral is anything with 4 sides. All right, moving on. Okay, so we've done a few of these now. 7.7. Draw what it would look like if it was reflected over Y. So we're reflecting over Y-axis. Point A was 4 to the left of the 4. Now it's going to be 4 to the right. And I'm going to put an A there with an apostrophe, because that means the image of A. B was 4 to the left. Now it's going to be 4 to the right of the Y-axis. That's the image of B. C was 3 to the right of 1. Now it's going to be 3 to the left of 1. So there's C's image. And there's your reflection. And we're moving on to the bottom part, point B. So point B, the original B, not B apostrophe. They're not asking you to move the reflection. They're asking you to move the original point. Vertically 14 units. Vertical is a change in Y. So our original location was -4, 1. Now if we're moving vertically 14, that means we're changing Y. So we're going to do, and vertical positive 14, that means we're not touching our X value, and we are adding 14 to our Y value. So your new location is going to be -4, 15. And guys, if you tried to do this, go, oh, I'm going to move up 14, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you ran out of graph space. You could graph it on, a larger piece of paper, but this is the trick. Just let the math do the work for you. That way you don't have to go, like graph paper. All right. So this table shows results for rolling a number cube 30 times. So this is when you're actually rolling. So this would be known as the experimental probability. This is all experimental. Theoretically, for rolling a 6, theoretically, for a single roll, you'd have a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 6. So out of 30 rolls, you should be getting a 5, because 30 times 1 divided by 6. So theoretically, you should be getting 5 out of 30. Well, was the experimental probability of rolling a 6 more or less than the theoretical? Well, experimental was 8. He rolled 8 6s. In theory, he should have only rolled 5. So 8 is more than the 5. So the experimental was greater than the theoretical. You got to make sure you understand that terminology. The 8 is more than the 5. Which one actually got theoretical? Well, theoretically they all should have been 5. Well, the only one that actually got the theoretical was the 1, rolling a 1. All right, over here. I do have a video for how to create histograms from stem and leaf plots. So 51 to 60. Okay, so we talked about how to read these in class. This is 52, 56, 58. This is always your tens digit, or in this case tens and hundreds, and then the ones digit is the leaf, it's known as. So this is 52, 56, 58. So that's 3 numbers three pieces of data that are in the 51 to 60 zone. So I'm going to go ahead and shade up 3. So that was these 3. Here's where it can get confusing. 61 to 70. Well, these are all in the 61 to 70 zone. But then also look at that next row. There's a 70. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So I'm going to go ahead and shade up to 6. 71 to 80. Well, there's only this guy. So there's 1. Now don't spend all your time shading in the tables. Some kids just sit there for hours and try to color it in perfect. You don't have to do that. 81 to 90. So 81 to 90 is going to be these. There is no 90 over here, so it's just these 4. So you're going to have that. And then 91 to 100, we've got all of these, but then we also have all of these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are in between 90 and 99, and then 2 more that are actually 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going up here, halfway between 6 and 8. And there we go. Now, which one shows the median score? If we weren't looking at this, median is a specific number. We don't know the specific numbers just by looking at a histogram. So the stem and leaf plot can show us the median being the middle number. So the stem and leaf plot will give us the actual median. Okay, almost done here, almost done. We've got 7.10. This is a line with a slope of 3, passes through the point -2, -4. Draw this line with 2 additional points. So we did this a little bit already on one of our worksheets a couple weeks back. This is pretty easy. All you have to do is plot the point, -2, -4. Boom, there you go. Step 1 done. Slope of 3. That means our slope. I'd recommend you think of your slope as a fraction, which would mean it's 3 over 1. Now we've talked about the top number being the vertical change and the bottom number being the horizontal change. They're both positive, so a vertical change that's positive means it's going up. And a positive horizontal change is right. So we're going up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1. So from this point, I'm going to go up 3, right 1, boom. 1, 2, 3, up 3, right 1, boom. Up 3, right 1. And there's your line that's being created. Now, the y-intercept, where is it hitting the y-axis? It's hitting the y-axis at 2. You'll start to see how all this ties in together with what we're doing in a few weeks. It's pretty cool. All right, so problem 7.11. Actually, this is problem 7.12. I need to fix that. 4n minus 7 equals -39. We've been doing a few of these. We're just starting to deal with more integer things. So we're going to, some negative numbers. We're going to add 7. We're going to get 4n equaling -32. From there, we're going to divide by 4. We're going to get n equals -8. Now, you can use the Desmos calculator, and you can type in the operation side of the equation. So you could go 4 parentheses minus 7. You could plug in that -8, and the Desmos calculator should give you the -39. So it's a way to double check your answer. Down here, a lot of kids panic when they see this. I've seen some kids go, oh, this is no big deal. I'm just going to rewrite this. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it as 6r because it's positive 6r, -3, and then equaling 27. So some kids rewrite it back in order. I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to do this. So up here we got rid of our constant first, the number that was by itself. Down here I'm going to do the same thing. We want to get r by itself. We want to isolate r. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. We get 30 equaling 6r. So this isn't a big deal. From now we're going to, this is 6 times r. That's a coefficient. We're going to divide out the coefficient because we're multiplying. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So then we're going to get 5. And you're done. Once again, you can plug this into Desmos, put in a 5, and you should get 27 as an answer. That makes 30. 30 and -3 give you 27. Finally, 8m plus 3 is greater than 27. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. You don't even want to think about graphing it because you need to get m completely by itself. So I'm going to get 8m is greater than 24. I'm going to divide by 8, and you're going to get m being greater than 8, 16, 24, 3. So you're going to have a 3 on your number line. It's going to be an open dot going to the right, and that's it. You're done. Hope this helps. Got it done in about 20 minutes. Okay, so if you're working on these and it's taking you more than 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes at the max, let me know. Let's come in and visit me after school sometime. Talk to you later.